So, what am I doing here? So I have this cheap lamp, and I bought a 12 volt LED bulb with the Edison base. Screwed that in. Now I want to find out what the polarity is on these lines. So I am temporarily going to attach this jumper to the plug, and then the other end of the jumper will go to the battery. So I'll find out what the polarity is on each of those lines, and then eventually I'm going to cut this cord, lamp cord, and attach it to this pigtail, which goes into a 12 volt male plug that has a switch on it. So that's the plan, just starting out. I've got to use that switch because with 12 volt DC devices, if I keep using this switch, it'll wear out over time. Alright, so let's find out what side is positive and what side is negative to the bulb. Well, that was fairly easy. Now I have another desk lamp to light up the place a bit. I'll get a few more of these eventually once I finish hooking up the 12 volt wiring. This is my new water transfer pump. The green hose is the suction that goes down inside the water tank. Maybe I can show you that. Yeah, that's the inlet down there. And the white potable water hose goes outside where it drains, and there's a battery outside the window there to power this pump. The pump that I've been using before is a small bilge pump, and it works alright. The nice thing is I can put it down inside the tank. This pump needs to be primed first. I ended up getting a bucket of water here and using that with the green hose to prime the pump. What I think I'll do in the future is get a weight that I can attach to the end of the hose down there, because there's a black piece of rubber there which is supposedly inlet, and that doesn't lay flat against the bottom of the tank. So I still have, what do I have? I still have like, oh, probably 50 gallons of water in there. Yeah, I must have had 100 before. Yeah, I just pumped it down like in 20 or 30 minutes, that much, which is much faster than the other pump. So I think I'm going to keep this. Here's my setup outside. I got lucky. The cords for the pump were just long enough to reach the battery outside, so I didn't have to add an extra length of cable in between. But it's working well. You can see the water coming out down here at a good clip. I need to keep an eye on this, as this pump has a larger capacity than my submersible bilge pump, so it'll probably pump it down quicker. Still have like, I don't know, between 50 and 100 gallons in there. These are my water tanks up on the hill. I've got them covered in black plastic so no algae grows. But that's not working out so great, because on the top of the tanks the mice are, oh, there's one little bugger now, are building homes, nests on the top of the tank. I put some mothballs in plastic trays under the tank, but obviously that didn't do any good because they still made a mess. So I've got to drain this tank for the winter, and I'll leave it open, and hopefully the rains and the snow will clean it off, and then in the spring I'll get some Clorox out here to clean it off. But I got to drain these tanks because they're full of water and they'll just freeze otherwise. Now let's clean up this mess somehow. Okay, tank is draining. I remembered to unscrew the cap on top this time because I think it was last year, this tank on the right here, I opened the valve on the bottom and I forgot to crack the cap up on top, and part of the tank collapsed on me. But when I filled it with water, most of it returned to where it was supposed to be. So yeah, we'll let that drain and come back in a few hours and close that valve and tighten down the top of the tank. I have some dead trees that fell down since the last time I was up here. This birch here, there were like 4 birch trees growing together on one stump, and 2 of them fell recently. I was wondering how I was going to deal with them, but I'll just leave those 2 alone that are still standing, and I'll see if this wood is good. I'll cut it up for firewood. And also this tree fell. I think it came off that stump right there. So I'll have to see about moving the end of that down, see if I can untangle it from the top there, get it on the ground, and then cut it up. But it's not for this trip. Okay, let's see how much of this tongue and groove I can get up on the wall this trip. I've got most of the cutouts in the middle there done and nailed in. There's just one more I have to nail in, and then after that we can just go straight along with the top board. We don't have to worry about cutting around those cross ties, so it should go faster from here. All right, we are about a third of the way there. Get these boards up, and it goes a lot faster when I don't have to deal with making cutouts for those cross ties there. I got them all done. So now I can just start running the full length tongue and groove pine. Of course, that'll be next trip. Well, I just threw together a little rack to hold my canoe and kayak, keep them off the ground, so no animals make nests inside them. I got to get my sunfish off the ground too. Probably put it back on the trailer there, upside down, because I don't want the water in the cockpit over the winter. Well, that is going to do it for this trip. I plan on coming up one more time this year to close down the cabin for the winter. Drain all the water, put antifreeze in the toilet and the traps for the sink, and that'll be about it for the year. So, thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you back at the cabin next time. Quick storm coming through.